Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're digging into a football transfer that seems to be, well, finally hitting the final stages.
Bryan Mbeumo to Manchester United, right? Been rumbling for a bit.
Exactly. And our mission today is really to unpack the key details, pull back the curtain based on our source, and figure out, what's really driven this forward now.
Sounds good. Let's get into it.
Okay, so the source kicks things off with a pretty big line. Manchester United are now confident to get Mbeumo deal done after progress.
Right. Confident and progress. Those are the key words there.
Yeah, what's your take? In the transfer world, does confident always mean, it's happening? Or is there some gamesmanship there sometimes?
It can be both, honestly.
Yeah.
But pairing it with progress, that usually suggests something concrete has shifted. Maybe a key obstacle has been overcome.
Like, the money side, perhaps?
Could be. Or maybe smoothing things over with the selling club, or even just final confirmation from the players' camp, although we get to that. But yeah, progress implies movement.
Okay, and speaking of the money, the source follows right up saying negotiations are underway after the new bid in excess of £60.
Wow, okay. In excess of 60-pound meters.
Wow, okay, in excess of £60 meter.
That's a massive figure, isn't it?
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And in excess of this, interesting too. It signals, maybe the initial 60 meters wasn't quite enough, or they've added incentives.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely shows United mean business.
And suggests they're meeting Brentford's valuation, presumably.
Precisely. That's often the biggest hurdle, agreeing on the player's actual market worth. The source also adds, the agreement is now close with Brentford. That's the club-to-club part falling into place.
Right. And it reflects Mbeumo's value, too. He's consistently productive, versatile.
Exactly. Goals, assists, can play across the front line. He's a valuable commodity, especially for a team looking to boost their attack like United.
Okay, now here's the bit that, for me, really seems to explain that confidence we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
The source reveals Bryan Mbeumo already agreed personal terms weeks ago.
Ah, there it is. Yeah, that's huge.
Weeks ago. So the player himself has been sorted for quite a while.
Absolutely crucial detail. Personal terms, that's salary, contract lengths, bonuses, all that stuff between the player and the buying club. If that was done weeks ago.
It means the only real negotiation left was between the two clubs, right?
Exactly. And it also underlines what the source says about Mbeumo pushing for his dream move to Man United. He's clearly wanted this.
That player desire, it really adds momentum, doesn't it?
Oh, massively. When a player's set on a move, especially a dream move, it puts, a lot of pressure on the selling club to find an agreement, provided the offer is fair. Player power is definitely a factor.
So for everyone following this, listening in, it seems like the pieces are really aligning now.
It certainly looks that way. The money's apparently right, the clubs are close, and the player's been ready to go for weeks.
It almost sounds too straightforward at this point. I mean, are there still things that could potentially trip this up, even now?
Well, you never say never in transfers. Things like agent fees can sometimes complicate things late on, or, the medical has to be passed, though that's usually standard.
Right, the medical.
But honestly, having those personal terms agreed for so long is a very, very strong indicator. It removes a massive potential stumbling block. The main issue is always likely the fee between United and Brentford.
And that seems to be resolved, or very nearly resolved.
Seems like it, based on this report.
So the big takeaway here, perhaps, is how all these elements have to come together. It's not just about the buying club having the money.
Definitely not. It's the selling club's valuation, the player's ambition, the timing. It's a complex dance.
And in this case, Mbeumo's desire, his dream move push, combined with United finally meeting that financial mark, that seems to be the key combination.
Yeah, it feels like the final push.
Right.
Driven by both money and ambition working together.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Next time we hear about a transfer dragging on, maybe the player agreed terms ages ago, and it's just the clubs haggling over those last few million.
Very possible. There's always more going on behind the scenes that makes the headlines immediately.
Definitely something to keep in mind. Well, that's our deep dive for today. Until next time, stay curious.